All right, so y'all know I've been on this anti-federal spending, Social Security, all this stuff, just against it video rant lately. So I have a 20-minute video that I'm going to react to. Um, um, that's called, what is this called? How Social Security works. I'm gonna walk through that real quick, but one second.
This is my bi-weekly paycheck, and this is my gross pay.
Dude, when I first, like a month ago, when I actually took a look at all the stuff on my stub that's that I get taxed for, dude, it's so much on it that I don't benefit from at all. Like I don't live in New York or New Jersey, so it doesn't look exactly like this. But instead of like federal income tax and social security tax, it just lumps it all into one thing and calls it FICA and FIT. I think they combined to take like 15% of my check, and it's for shit that I don't want, that I'm likely not going to see. Like I said with the Social Security, with the retirement, you pay into it forever until you retire at 67. Dude, if you stop taking my money, I can retire at 50, or at least semi-retire, and I won't need you. But you don't even allow me to wait a way to opt out of that. Why? Because you need me to pay for it for other people. Again, we have to tell you the government isn't giving you jack shit. Other people are forced to give it to you. And if you're okay with that, you're the shitty person, not the people who don't want to give it to you. But anyway, yes, it's a shitload of stuff. And we've become so comfortable with just going right along with being told, this is what you're going to do. Okay. That should not be how it works. It shouldn't.
It's blocked out because, well, privacy. And here are all the taxes I'm paying.
Dude, this, I'm not sure if that's like something she opted into or her company, but I know the phone is. But look, even without that, look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 different things you're taxed for. Like in Detroit, we have a Detroit tax that, again, you have to pay it whether you live or work there. How stupid is that? You're going to charge somebody who only spends 10 hours there, maybe the same as somebody who sleeps there, shits there? Really? That's how you know it's just tax, just because you don't know how to run our city, so we just going to take money from you.
There's the federal income tax, and because I live in Manhattan but work for a company that's based in New Jersey, I pay New Jersey state income tax, New York state income tax, and New York City income tax. Yeah.
So literally, if 2 different cities do the same thing, you can be getting taxed twice for the same thing, and it's like, why? Why? Why am I getting taxed for this? Why am I getting taxed for working somewhere? And they say this is where we want to put our place. See how ridiculous that is? You shouldn't be able to have a tax just for a money grab. You shouldn't be able to have a tax just for a money grab. But we're okay with this.
Yeah, I know. There's also a Medicare tax, and then right here is something called the Social Security tax. It's 6.2% of my pay stub, which is then matched by my employer. The money that I'm paying into the system.
I didn't know it was matched by your employer. Why the fuck is it matched by your employer? That is so stupid. So because I have an employee, I have to pay the exact same tax that they pay, along with what you're going to tax. Why? Why? This is incredibly stupid. Oh.
Is supposed to come back to me later in retirement. But for a while.
At 67. At 67. What's your life expectancy? Think about this. At 67.
While now, experts and politicians alike have been warning that the chances of that actually happening aren't looking so good.
If in fact he continues to withhold his plan to withhold the tax on Social Security will be bankrupt by 2023. with no way to make up for it.
Social Security faces
Okay? Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Yes, I know people will be impacted, but I didn't sign up for this shit. I could have told you initially that that was a dumb idea. I could have told you when you put in what is like the 60s, that was a stupid idea. Hey, we're going to take from these people and then give to these people. Meaning, we're going to take from the young people who are working and give them to the old people that's retired. How about you tell those old people, hey, you should have had kids and had them take care of you. But let government do it. And this is what you get. People who really don't know how to fucking do it.
big mismatch between the revenues it's scheduled to take in and the benefits that it's scheduled to pay out. Currently, in 2020, we're paying more in benefits than we're receiving in revenue.
A Quinnipiac poll shows that less than half of Americans actually think that Social Security will be able to pay them a benefit when they retire.
More and more, young clients are asking whether or not Social Security is going to be there for them. And we don't know the answer to that question.
I don't want it to be there for me. I don't want to pay for it now. Let it go. Or let the people who don't want to be in it, let them not be in it. This is a stupid plan. It always was.
Since 2010, Social Security's cash flow has been negative, which is just a fancy way of saying that the agency isn't collecting enough money through taxes to cover what it's paying out. But all wasn't lost. There was still this huge trust fund behind Social Security, so they started tapping the interest on that fund. But here's the thing. Starting in 2021, they'll have to dip into the trust fund itself to cover those benefit payments. And even that pool of cash has an expiration date. Trustees of the fund expect that by 2035, it won't be enough to cover full benefit payments. And thanks to COVID-19, that date may come years sooner than expected, which has some retirees seriously worried about their future.
I don't know what I would do if I didn't have it or if it stopped. I really don't know. I couldn't live off the small pension.
I know I'm sounding like a broken record here, but you take the money yourself, the 6% of your check, save it for the next 50 years, and you're fine. Especially if you know how to invest, which I'm not going to make it seem like everybody does. But even if you simply save it and have the children you need, you're fine. You only need stuff like this from the government if you're an idiot.
Savings and investments within a couple of years.
But experts speaking to CNBC think that lawmakers will not, under any circumstances, let the system go bust. Which begs the question, what went so brutally wrong for the 85-year-old program, and will it actually be there when you're ready to retire? U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed the Social Security Act into law halfway through the Great Depression.
Oh. Can y'all stop allowing situations allowing the government to take advantage of situations and say, we need to step in and take over because see what happened? Yeah, because you fucking up Social Security is not as bad at all. No, please stop falling for this. Stop it. Get rid of this. Get rid of all this crap that's on our tax bill. Please.
This Social Security measure gives at least some protection to 30 million of our citizens who will reap direct benefits through unemployment compensation, through old age pensions, and through increased services for the protection of children and the prevention of ill health.
Social Security was originally intended to just do three things: provide benefits for retired, unemployed, and disadvantaged Americans. Over the next 40 years, the program ballooned. In 1939, amendments added child, spouse, and survivor benefits. But the real changes began in the 1950s. Benefit amounts substantially increased. Coverage under the program became close to universal, and a new disability insurance benefit was offered. 1965 was the year that Social Security got into the business of health insurance. Medicare and Medicaid provided a vital lifeline to health insurance coverage for the country's older and low-income adults. And in the
Why? Why? People, you can't put a limit on healthcare, correct? So when you take on a bill that is healthcare, you immediately risk overspending by a lot, and pretty much immediately, because it's unpredictable. I need y'all to think about this. In order to keep their costs down and payouts, they need you to die. You're going to turn around and hand them your health care. All right.
1970s were expanded even further to include a much larger group of people, like individuals of all ages with disabilities. The last major changes came.
And to be fair, they also, because low income is in it, they also could need you to be like not low income. Okay, this was 40 years ago. Have they succeeded in making people not be as low income? No, but people are still dying, right? Okay.
In 1983, when benefits and taxes were adjusted to help generate surpluses in the program and to build up Social Security's substantial trust fund.
They adjusted taxes, meaning they raised them. So, what do you think happens now? Oh, instead of 22% of your check, we need 37%. So, to give you more money later, we're going to take more money now. How about you don't? How about you get rid of all this crap, take on like 10%, 5%, whatever it is to cover the military and shit like that, and then I'll have the money later. Does that make sense? I'll have the money later if you don't take it now.
That's the same fund that's now at risk. Now, while all these changes to the system were underway, the 9-digit Social Security number was fast becoming the single most important identification number in the country. It was originally meant only to log a worker's earnings over their lifetime in order to calculate their retirement benefits. But it kept being adopted by more and more government agencies and private sector companies as the identification number of choice. The IRS started using it for taxes in 1962, the military in 1969, and later, everything from driver's licenses to credit reporting agencies, your landlord, utility companies, and cell phone providers started using it too. So, for better or worse, these 9 digits have essentially become our national ID by default. And now, the number is assigned when you're born, and it tracks you till you die. The first monthly Social Security check was cashed in 1940 for a grand total of about $23. Fast forward to 2020, and the average retired worker gets around $1,500 a month from Social Security. Nearly 9 out of 10 people aged 65 and older receive Social Security benefits, and Gallup research shows that some 57% of retirees say it's a major source of income in their retirement, eclipsing.
Why? If you've worked for 40 years, you didn't save anything, and also, where the fuck are your kids? Do you see how this system is perpetuating the don't plan anything, just give us money and we got you? Why do you want that system? Get rid of this system. It sucks.
By far the second.
It doesn't promote community at all. Which y'all say we should have, right? Okay, then show it then. Prove it.
And third sources, such as 401ks, IRAs, and other work-sponsored pension plans.
So do I depend on Social Security? Absolutely, without a doubt.
Cece Dominguez has been retired for 10 years, and she tells CNBC that she doesn't know what she'd do if the payments stopped.
As the economy changes, with prices going up.
Were those cats? Please, if those are, please tell me those aren't cats. Because that does nothing but prove my point if those are cats.
up and they're continuing to go up. The money that I had was not stretching in the same way it used to. And we're talking about gasoline, food, utilities.
Then you might need to go back to work and not collect the check. Get up and go back to work.
Just the basics that we have to support ourselves with Social Security on a fixed income does not match that increase.
Cece has been working several part-time jobs to make up for the difference between what Social Security pays her and how much her bills cost her every month. So how exactly are those monthly benefits calculated? Well, they're based on your income, the year you were born, and the age you decide to start taking money out. Wondering how the math works? Well, here's a case study. The median U.S. salary is about $52,000. We'll round down to make things easy. If you have a traditional job making $50,000, you pay 6.2% of your salary, or $3,100 a year in Social Security taxes. That number is then matched by your employer. Those numbers are straight.
Now let's think about this over a 10-year period. That's $31,000. I hope it's $31,000. $31,000 over a 10-year period. Do you or do you not have enough to either have paid off a small home or have a small home? So that when you're 40 and you start to now build on your savings, when you turn 50, 55, can you not downgrade yourself to part-time working? Can you not downgrade yourself to maybe not even working at all? Unless, it's like, all right, money's low, let me go back to work for a few months and build back up and whatever. Do you see how your options open up when they stop taking money from you? Stop believing in this, oh, we need this for these people. No, those people need to get their shit together and make their own way.
Forward. Figuring out how much you'll get back when you're ready to cash out is a different story. Let's say you'll turn 62 in 2020 and your average lifetime salary was $50,000 adjusted for inflation. To determine your benefits, Social Security takes your top 35 earning years, adjusts them for inflation, adds them all together, then divides that number by 420, the number of months in 35 years. That gives you $4,166. Still with me? That number is your average indexed monthly earnings, or AIME. Simply put, it's your monthly pay for the last 35 years. But there's still some math to get through. Your benefits are determined by Ben points in an equation, almost like a tax bracket, but it's used to give you money instead. The less money you've made, the higher a percentage of your salary you'll get back. This is designed to help low-wage retirees. So let's run your monthly average from before through that Ben point equation.
Why do y'all keep setting shit up for poor people? That's stupid. That is stupid. Why are you prioritizing people who've done poorly? That is incredibly stupid. Have a regular base, what you're good for, one size fits all. This is stupid. So because somebody earned more, it's like, oh, you get less. You prove my point. Take less money from me and I can fare off better myself. You prove my point with this.
You get 90% of your first $960 and 32% of everything you made between $5,785 and $960. And at $50,000, we won't have to worry about that third bend. So now we have our number. You can expect a monthly Social Security check of $1,890 if you wait until your full retirement age.
Of 67 years old. Oh my God, RSA. So let's look at $1,890. All right, get my calculator out because I'm too lazy to do fucking really anything. God damn it. Calculator, boom, boom. 1890 divided by 4. $472.50 every week. That's what they're giving you after 50 to 60 years of hard work. $470.50 a week. Do you still think this is a good idea? No wonder she's struggling. This is a shit plan. Why are you? This is stupid. You don't have any money. But had they not taken that money from you, think about it. $31,000 over a 10-year period. Now multiply that by at least 4, because you have to work till you're 67. So let's go. 31,000 times 40. It's $1 million fucking dollars. And they're going to give you 400 and I think, what was it, $72.50 a week after you paid in all of that fucking money to them. Really? Stop going along with this government. Just makes a law and you go buy a crap. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. It's stupid.
But there are two big factors that will affect how much you take home every month. One of them being cost of living adjustments, or COLAs, which we've assumed will be a 2.6% pay bump Social Security gives retirees every year to keep up with rising prices. And secondly, if you wait a few years to claim your benefits, you can add hundreds of dollars to your monthly benefit check. You are first eligible to begin receiving your Social Security benefits at age 62, but you won't get the full benefit amount until the full retirement age of 66 years and 8 months. Back to our hypothetical case. If you wait until 70 to collect benefits, your monthly check jumps to almost $3,000. That's over $1,000 more than.
Okay, so now you get a more like a what is that? Full-time check, which is comes to $734.75. So let's say you get $735 a week. After you retire at 70, what is the life expectancy? What is the life expectancy? I don't care if it's 100. So I have to work until I damn near can't walk to get $750 a week, when I can choose, if you don't take the $1 million from me, to save it and retire at 50 myself and work accordingly, especially if I chose to have kids and raise them to be something decent. But no, don't put that pressure on them. Put that pressure on everybody else's kid. If your response is don't put that pressure on your kids, you are stupid, because you're still putting the pressure on other kids who aren't your kids. Through Social Security, you idiot.
You would have gotten at your full retirement age every month for the rest of your life. $1 trillion in benefits will be paid out to about 65 million people.
Dude, just imagine being 60 years old. You already got all your everything's on you already going. Your health is declining, and you're looking at another 10 years after they've already siphoned all this money from you. That sounds good to you? One trucking job I got, the dude, he didn't quit. They had to let him go because he crashed the truck because he couldn't fucking see. And the other guy there said, yeah, he was real old. He was trying to make sure he got his full pension benefit. Dude was out here risking lives so he could get that full pension benefit, because who else is going to take care of him besides the government after they already took all his money after all these years?
In 2020. So where does all that cash come from? Social Security is financed through a dedicated payroll tax. Like we said earlier, every working American pays 6.2% of their wages to the government on everything they earn up to $137,700. Employers match that amount, or if you're self-employed, you pay 12.4% into the Social Security Trust Fund.
What the fuck? Why? Why? Holy shit, dude. Think of, so if you're self-employed, every $12.40 you earn. Wait, is that wrong? Every 13 cents of every dollar you earn goes to the government just for this. Just for this. And now when you think about it, that every employer has to pay 6.2%. Imagine how much cost is reflected in the product you buy for this stupid, ridiculous tax. They're not fixing anything, people. They're just pretending to. That's what the government does. They pretend to fix stuff.
All of Social Security's payroll taxes and other sources of income are deposited into this fund, and all the benefits and administrative expenses are paid out of this fund. Think of Social Security like a pay-as-you-go type program. Benefits being paid out today mainly come from payroll.
It's not pay as you go. It's they fucking take it as you go.
Taxes collected from today's workers. Now, for over 30 years, Social Security was flush with cash. It took in more in payroll taxes and other income than it was paying out in benefits and expenses. And the fund didn't just sit there. By law, income to the trust fund must be invested on a daily basis. So they did just that. Income to the fund is invested in interest-bearing Treasury securities, earning an average interest rate of 2.5% in 2020.
Every dollar of the trust fund is invested in United States Treasury securities. They're special securities only designated for the Social Security Trust Fund, and that actually gives them advantages over regular Treasury securities. U.S. Treasury securities are considered the safest kind of asset to back any claim that you have, and so at the moment they're held in an extremely safe, although low-yielding kind of investment.
As of the end of 2019, the trust fund was up to almost $2.9 trillion.
At the moment, the trust fund is very near its all-time peak in terms of dollars. It's not near a peak in terms of how many years of benefit payment.
Listen, the second the government takes money out of your hands, I don't care what they told you it's for. At that point, it's all out of your hands. It's out of your control. Nothing you can do. So I don't care what they call it. It's really just them taking money from you. How do you think you pay for the post office that lose $8 billion, $10 billion a year? Do they have a trust fund for that, or they just take it from wherever and pay?
We afford to spend out of the trust fund, but nonetheless, it's at a very high level at the moment.
But here's the thing. Since 2010, the payroll tax hasn't been enough to cover benefit payments for the massive baby boomer generation that started to retire. In 2016, the deficit of $75 billion was covered by the interest earned on the trust fund. In 2019, interest covered almost $81 billion of benefit payments. But starting in 2021, living off the interest won't be enough because people are living longer and millions of baby boomers are retiring. Social Security will have to start to draw down from the trust fund itself to help pay for benefits. And even that fund won't last forever. Experts predict the reserves could run out by 2035, at which point Social Security would only be able to pay about 79% of promised benefits. And all the while, any chance at earning any sort of return on surplus money coming into the fund is virtually lost.
The reality is today, every dollar that goes into Social Security immediately goes out the door to current retirees. It never has a chance to earn a positive rate of return over time. And that has really negative consequences if you look over decades of not being able to invest the money that is set aside. When you look at pension programs, about 2/3 of the assets in there are actually investment returns. And so you're stripping that opportunity away from workers.
The worldwide pandemic has complicated things even further. Massive unemployment, a recession, reduced earnings, and lower interest rates thanks to the Fed could all speed up the...
This is thanks to that crowd of people who have this idea of be good by all means. You can never take any other risk other than just being safe and sound. Thank you that we have problems like this. We can't just have poor people or old people suffer from their consequences. We can't have that. We can't risk people dying, so we have to shut the economy down. This is the result of shit you want.
fund. Data from the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania estimates the funds could run out as early as 2032. And the Bipartisan Policy Center, a DC think tank, says the reserves could be depleted by 2028. This doesn't mean that Social Security will have run out of money completely, but it does mean that they'd only be able to pay out a portion of the promised benefits. The Social Security Administration declined to participate in this video.
All right, look, this is about to come up to an ad. There's 6 minutes left. You can go look this up yourself and finish it, but it's just to give you the overview of how ridiculous it is that we agree or we've allowed the government to run programs like this. These programs don't work. They don't work. Yes, people get the money from it, but in large part, they don't work. Because most of the people who get money from it, if you didn't have this to look at, remember, they only did this because of the Great Depression. Most people, if you take care of your finances and don't live check to check and don't have unnecessary kids, you don't need this. And this isn't a problem. But no, we'd rather be all, let's be people who take care of their poor, take care of their old people, take care of the disabled, instead of telling them, hey, I want to, do this for yourself. No, we'll do it for you because you think that you're doing these people a favor. If they're morons, yes. I'm out.